Hi, Dr. Heidi Grant here with another episode of 3 Things to Do. This week's topic is one that I think is useful to just about everyone: how to make a really great first impression. Now, I don't want to add extra pressure, but it does turn out that making a great first impression is really important. And in part, that's because people tend to not revise their impressions of us very quickly or readily. They tend to cling to those initial feelings they had about us from the get-go. That's something psychologists call the primacy effect, when we pay the most attention to the things we learn first about another person. Now, it turns out that about 90% of making a great first impression boils down to 2 factors: warmth and competence. Warmth is our ability to project toward other people that we have good intentions toward them, that we're a friend, not a foe. Competence is about being able to act on those intentions, seeming like you're really capable and you have a lot of abilities. So really kind of nailing these 2 dimensions is the key to a great first impression. And like just about anything else in psychology, you can explain this using The Simpsons. So imagine you're wandering around Springfield and you're lost and you're looking for help. Who do you hope you run into? Of course, the answer is Lisa Simpson, because Lisa is someone who projects warmth and competence. She's kind, but she's also really, really smart. So she's the person you want to run into. Unfortunately, if you're able to project competence, right, you're able to come across as really smart and capable, but you fail to project warmth, then you end up coming across as cold, and now you're Monty Burns, someone who is actually a potentially formidable foe, someone you want to avoid at all costs. And this is actually the problem that a lot of us have in these first impressions. We're pretty good at projecting competence, but sometimes we forget to project warmth, and you end up being Mr. Burns instead of Lisa Simpson. Now, just to round out the other 2 quadrants, if you are good at projecting warmth but bad at projecting competence, you are Homer. Homer is the kind of guy we tend to feel sorry for. And if you're actually bad at both, you can't project competence or warmth, now you're Moe. People like Moe are ones we just tend to want to avoid. So really the key is trying to be Lisa Simpson in any first impression. And here's 3 things you can do to make sure you come across competent and warm. The first is to make eye contact when you are speaking and listening. Both of those pieces are really important. When you're speaking, you want to look directly at the people you're speaking to, because that's a really great way to project competence, to seem capable and confident. But you also want to make sure you're looking at other people when they are doing the talking. You're looking like you're listening. That's a great way to project warmth. And pay attention the next time you're in a meeting. Notice how many people aren't actually looking at the person who's doing the talking. They're failing to project warmth in that situation, and that's a huge mistake. Second thing you can do to make a great first impression is show curiosity through questions. Asking questions is a great way to, again, show both of these qualities. When you ask questions, it makes you seem confident, and that's going to increase your ability to project competence, right? You look like you're not afraid to admit what you don't know. When you ask questions about other people, that actually is a great way to show warmth. You are expressing curiosity about them. You want to understand their experiences, their perspective. And then finally, the third thing to do to make a great first impression is to make sure you stay calm and in control. It's natural to be a little bit nervous when you're making a first impression, but unfortunately, a lot of those things we do when we're nervous, maybe we speak too quickly or chew our nails or drum our fingers on the desk, maybe you disclose a little bit too much personal information or talk a little bit too much about your pet peeves. All of these kinds of behaviors signal to other people that you don't actually have a lot of self-control, that you're not really good at reining it in. And in general, we tend to not trust people who kind of obviously lack self-control. We don't trust them to act in their own best interests or in ours. So it's very, very important that we kind of not show other people our weaknesses and really try to stay calm and composed at all times. So let's go over those 3 things to do to make a great first impression one more time. The first, make eye contact when speaking and listening. Both of those pieces are really important in a first impression. Second, show curiosity through questions. Show that you're not afraid to admit what you don't know and that you're really genuinely interested in other people. And finally, stay calm and in control. Don't let other people see you sweat. That's going to make you seem like someone who has a lot of self-control, is really in charge of their own self, and that's going to impress other people in a big way. So thanks again for tuning into 3 Things to Do. Make sure you hit that like button, share the video with anyone you know who needs a little help making a great first impression, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next week.